We have 0 months remaining before the makers return. Grab somebody, tell them, we gotta get ready, cause that's just where we're at. So now before things get insanely wild, this is where we see many of the Ultimates make their final move, and in some cases, say their goodbyes. So with that said, if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications. So coming back, this picks up at the Triskelion satellite with Tony Stark and America Chavez, and he's staring at the screen with the options yes or no as she asks him, are you ready? And when he tells her, I'm not sure, are you? America tells him almost, but she's got to take care of something first, and we'll see what that thing is in a moment. But before she goes, she tells Tony, hey, you're gonna do great. Remember, this is a rescue mission. And you could tell that helped Tony because he was a little nervous, but now he's ready. And the reason why is because he's getting ready to give a speech, not just to the Altnet, but to the whole world. So he's like, here goes everything. And he says here, hello, my name is Tony Stark. Some of you know me as Iron Lad, founding member of the Ultimates. By now, most of you have heard something about me, one way or another, but most of you have never heard from me. And now this is going out to every kind of device that can receive this message. But he says here, whatever you've heard, I hope you'll listen. This message is being transmitted to every receiver in the world, automatically translated, according to region. This is for you, all of you. Ever since I was a little boy, I felt there was something wrong with the world, that there should be more. I know that many of you have felt it too. Life was supposed to be better than this, wasn't it? Brighter, kinder, more full of hope. We were supposed to be better, but instead we live small lives and dream small dreams and spend all our time trying to escape reality. Why do we want so desperately to escape? Yo, and I gotta say, this dude's room is packed with some alternate reality treasures, because it's looking like Batman, Godzilla, He-Man, Darth Vader, and a Ninja Turtle. And I don't know about that Batman, but he's got a wall full of figures, what looks to be an Infinity Gauntlet. Not sure if that has any connection to Gary, wielder of the Infinity Gauntlet, because it does look a little different in the posters. Return to the future? And what's that say, Alien? Yeah, this dude's living it up. But Tony's saying here, why do we want so desperately to escape? I think it's because reality is millions starving despite unprecedented abundance. Reality is millions more going homeless, sleeping on sidewalks, circling empty luxury high-rises. Reality is sanctioned genocide, irreversible environmental damage, and widespread oppression. The reality is we have no say in the course of our lives. We are not people, but cogs in a vast, unfeeling machine that slowly grinds us down into painful nothing. And we can see Nick Fury, director of Han, just losing it. And he's like, get me Janet Van Dyne now. But Tony goes on here saying, who wouldn't want to escape? So what happened? How did we get here? Who's to blame for all this? You know the man responsible. His name is the Maker. He and all the world leaders, Henry Dugry, Emmanuel da Costa, Bruce Banner, Ilyana Rasputin, Emperor Sunfire, have conspired to rob you of your freedom, to kill and imprison all who stand against them, and to drain the life from this world. I've seen it for myself. I've seen mass graves filled with superheroes, many of them children. They go on for miles. I've seen prehistoric paradises fouled beyond repair, the innocent inhabitants of idyllic islands turned into radioactive test subjects. I've seen 40,000-year-old cities built by strange and beautiful life forms, a race so genetically diverse, no two remotely resemble each other, empty, except for ghosts. For over half a century, they've killed and imprisoned every potential threat to their power, everyone they could not corrupt or contain. The world as we know it is an experiment in cruelty and control. It was not supposed to be like this. My father, Howard Stark, trapped the Maker in his city to give humanity a chance. His sacrifice bought us 2 years to fix the world. And for the last 2 years, the Ultimates have been trying to do just that. But time is running out. Most of what we've accomplished has been hidden from you. Most of what you've heard about us has been lies and manipulations. We did not destroy Stark Tower. That was the work of the Maker's Council. In an attempt to discredit us, we grieve every one of those lives lost. The power outages in Maryland and Virginia last year were the result of our actions. The Maker had built the grid on the unending suffering of an innocent young woman, one of the most incredible people I've ever met. And we did not think that was right. We would make the same decision again. And throughout this, we jump around to a lot of different locations. Like now with us seeing America make her way to take care of that one thing. while the other members of the Ultimates make their moves around the globe. And Tony goes on to say here, it is true. We have attacked the Council's infrastructure, raided their mines, destroyed or absorbed their weapons factories and stockpiles. We have distributed cures for most major diseases, cures previously reserved for only super rich and heavily connected, as we see Ren from issue 16 helping to hand these cures out. And Tony continues saying, all across the country, a wave of prisoner uprisings, inspired by an Ultimate named Luke Cage, have overthrown their tormentors and turned their dungeons into autonomous self-governing collectives, the so-called Ultimate Archipelago. We have fought living fairy tales and set off a war of the gods, and have fought among the shining ramparts of heaven itself. Many of us have died, but we came back. We came back for the cause. For you. And now when this jumps over to Hank and Janet, we see something pretty crazy here. Because while Hank's watching the speech, Janet gets back and he's like, where you been? And she's like, getting groceries. And Hank's like, again? And I just imagine Janet's like, you know you love to eat, shut up. But as we know, she's been running back and forth working with Nick Fury for quite some time. And getting the groceries has basically been her cover-up. But when she gets back, she asks, how's Tony doing? And Hank's like, I think he's doing fine. But then when Hank's like, should we be up there with them? In the Triskelion? You know, for support? Janet tells him no. I think it's better that we're here, ready for anything. As we see Nick Fury looking at the layout for the Triskelion satellite, the Ultimates headquarters where Tony is now. Because we saw Janet before discussing the Triskelion with Nick Fury, so she knows that's where not to be because it's about to go down. But going back to Tony's speech, we pick up with him saying, we came back for the cause, for you. We have wounded the Council significantly, weakened them appreciably. They can be fought, they can be beaten. We are proof of it, but we are running out of time. The city opens soon, and when the Maker and his children return, we don't know what will happen, but we know things will change fast. We know we'll have to fight. We have been labeled as terrorists, criminals, fundamentalists, cultists, degenerates, dangerous antisocials. We call ourselves freedom fighters, and we are dangerous to them. Freedom is dangerous to them and the system they've built. We are a threat to any system designed to suppress or interfere with human flourishing, but we are not a threat to you, never to you. We're going to need you, all of you. We have been expanding our membership rapidly to deal with what is coming. But if we hope to win, we'll need everyone. That's why I'm asking you to join the Ultimates. Yes, you. And he's even doing the whole Uncle Sam point, because the Ultimates need everyone. And he continues saying powers or weapons are not necessary to become an Ultimate. All it takes to be an Ultimate is to decide to be an Ultimate. Decide to resist. Resistance comes in many forms, as we see Luke Cage and the others getting ready to hit Fort DaCosta, the North American Union military base. But Tony continues saying, yes, taking up arms is one, but we'll need people doing much more than that. Organizing strikes, leading protests, providing intelligence, sabotaging factories, utilities, and munitions. Not going to work can be a heroic act. And I know somebody in this universe is like, man, I've been a hero. But he says, if we have any hope of winning, of changing the course of our lives, we have to do it together. As we see Luke Cage leading the charge on Fort DaCosta, while yelling, Avengers, assemble. And Tony says here, if you are currently the tool of a violent arm of the system, military, police, or administrative, know that defectors are welcome. It's our belief that no one is beyond rehabilitation. And now this switches over to Captain America, who's made his way to talk to Pietro and Wanda to bring them on the team. And right away, Quicksilver's like, why do you keep being nice to us? What do you want? And Cap's like, I try to be nice to most everybody. And the kid's like, you lit me on fire. And Cap's like, you try to kill me. But the thing with the kids here, they've kind of taken on this identity because of the things they've done. So because they've been used as weapons, Pietro's like, stop talking to us like kids. We're killers, highly trained and extraordinarily gifted. Because to him, that's just what they are. But to Wanda, it's more the case where she feels like because they've done bad things, there's no coming back from that. And she doesn't think Cap would be as nice to her if he knew what they had done. And that's where Steve puts a hand on each one of their shoulders, because he's ambidextrous with the encouragement. And he tells them here, that doesn't mean you can't do good things. And to be fair, Wanda, the world did bad things to you first. And the two of them are just looking at him like, whatever you say, Captain America. And Tony goes on to say, nothing is beyond forgiveness, if forgiveness is earned. And now when we go back to America Chavez, there's a moment where she runs into a few hand agents and she just gets rid of them without missing a beat, which is really satisfying, especially after what we saw in issue 16. And as it turns out, she came here to pay a visit to Midas. And this dude's just like, I knew you'd come. But he can't even move his body, because when the Ultimates saved America, who Midas was using the power of the grid, Midas got wrecked big time. And he tells her here, forgive me for not getting up, my dear. Your friends broke my neck into so many pieces, not even all the money in the world can put it back together again, apparently. This suit is the only thing keeping me alive. Breathing has become a gruesome chore. And now America, she's come here to see him because she believes she has to give him something before this next phase begins. And it almost seems like her way of letting go what happened before and moving forward. But when she tells Midas that she's here to give him something, he's like, give? Me? What could you give me, my love? I am one of the richest men. And that's where she's like, were, before giving him a kiss and straight up dusting this guy, hitting him with the Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. As she finishes up here saying, you were one of the world's richest men. And from here, going back to Tony's speech, he continues with saying, they are scared of us, scared of you. They know what I know. We outnumber them and they are vulnerable. So they stole your future. Do you want it back? And this lines up perfectly with us seeing Danny Rand following the Shen-Chi kid as they make their climb to the door to heaven. Because Danny Rand is one of the last few. There's like a handful of people who still have the potential to become who they were meant to be. Because for the other potential heroes who weren't already killed, their powers were either given to someone else, taken by someone else, and like we saw, some of the origin boxes even went to Earth 616 with Miles Morales. So along with the time window closing, opportunities like this are disappearing as well. So Danny's hanging in there and he's getting the kids help for a while. But back in Tony's speech, this leads to him saying, we are the Ultimates. Together, we will fix the world. Because now, and it feels crazy to say this, but now we are less than a month away from the Maker's return. And we've been watching all this unfold for the past 2 years in real time. And things are getting ready to really pop off. And that's why Tony's trying to round up any and everyone he possibly can in the final hour. So he continues here saying, wherever you are, whoever you are, if you are seeing this, consider this an open invitation. Be a hero. Join the Ultimates. Heroes are everywhere. They can be anyone, even you. The enemy's power over us is inversely proportional to our connection to each other. They can't stop us all. And a perfect example of that is what Tony said about people not going to work, whether it's military or police, because for every person who's not fighting against them, if they join the cause, that's an additional person fighting on their side. But Tony goes on saying, they can't stop us all. Now is the time. So I say to every one of you, my brothers and sisters in arms, my ultimates, rise up. Hold on, wait a minute. Is that the Atlanta Falcons thing? Because if it is, that's not a good sign. Talking about rise up. Okay. But around this time, we also see Nick Fury being told that they have their location, and he's asked if he wants them to get an attack formation. But Fury's just like, no, the damage is done. I want them monitored continuously. Let's see what we can find out. And now we learned about a year ago that Nick Fury, he's good for betraying the Maker's Council. So who knows if we might see that happen again. But yeah, the people of Earth 6160 are going crazy. They've had enough. And when the Maker comes back, it's going to get even crazier. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and let me know in the comments, did Tony's speech make you rise up? Like if it were you on Earth 6160, what would your reaction be to hearing this speech? I would love to know. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here, who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. All right, later.